welcome back to another episode of JR Takes. As always, Ryan and I coming at you with the latest Seattle sports news. And Ryan, we got some good news, we got some bad news this weekend. Mariners, of course, getting swept by a very good Dodgers team, probably a potential World Series matchup if we get so lucky. And, of course, the Seahawks knocking off the Lions in a shootout and doing it in overtime in Geno-esque, Tyler Lockett-esque fashion. We'll get to that in a second. I kind of just want to get through the Mariners and the woes that be this weekend. But, of course, they got swept, but the future is still bright. I don't know, Ryan, if you noticed, but we do play the Oakland A's this tonight, actually. And
are they still the worst team in baseball?
They have lost 103 games.
Wow.
Yeah, and there's still...
That's impressive.
There is still, I believe, 12 games left to play. So
okay.
We play a 3-game series against the A's tonight.
That can help balance out the Dodgers sweeping us a little bit.
Yeah, one would hope. And then, so hopefully we can take care of business there, and then we face the Rangers on the road for 3 games, and then back at home we face Houston and then Texas for 4. So really the ball is in our court as far as destiny. We control our own destiny, essentially. If we can take care of business, we could honestly win the division.
Yeah, if they win all 3 of those series, or I don't know if you said 3 or 4.
There's 4 series, 2 of them are against Texas.
Right. If they win all those, like go 2-1 or whatever against those teams, they will probably be division champs by the end of it. So
yeah,
it's a tall order, but I mean, that's a situation you want to be in at the end of the year. And to not have to hope that a bunch of teams lose and stuff like that.
Right. And Texas and Houston certainly did us a favor by, I think, Houston lost a series to Oakland this weekend, and then Texas got beat. I think they might have gotten swept. But either way, we're still a game behind the Rangers and the Astros. So they really need to win tonight.
Yeah.
And I'm honestly probably just not even going to pay attention to the game because it seems to work out better that way when I don't watch and they win. And
that's
when
why
I do tune in, they lose.
That's exactly what happens for me. So I check the scores after the games are over. And that's pretty much it.
But moving on to things that I do watch and check in with week to week, the Seahawks finally getting that first dub of the season, and I will admit I chose us to lose that game mainly due to our tackle situation. I thought that we would be getting Geno dropped in the backfield a lot more than he actually did, and Aiden Hutchinson was not as big of a factor as I thought he was going to be. And
Geno, the only sack he took was that horrible play where he decided to turn into Johnny Manziel.
It looked like a Madden play.
Yeah, I take that play out, and it was one of the best QB performances I've seen in recent years. But, yeah, the offensive line held up so well compared to our expectations going into the game. And I think on the podcast last week, I predicted that we were going to win 34-31, which ended up being pretty close. But honestly, that was just because I was like, fuck it, I'm going to throw a good prediction out there. Logically, going into the game, I thought that Stone and Jay Curran were going to get obliterated by Hutchinson, and they held up remarkably well in pass protection. Shane Waldron called a hell of a game. Huge improvement from last week against the Rams. A lot more creativity, a lot more play action usage, which I always love to see. Still waiting for the JSN heavy game plan. I feel like that's a little area we can improve on moving forward, is utilizing him a little better, because I feel like when we're targeting him, it's way too close to the line of scrimmage. Like, get him a little further downfield. But, man, how many games is Tyler Lockett going to just seal the deal for us and make an amazing catch in the back of the end zone? I love that guy so much. I remember when we gave him the big contract in 2018, like, he had mostly been a good returner for a few years, and I remember at the time thinking, oh, that's kind of weird we invested that much in Tyler Lockett. And now, 5 years later, it's like, that's the best money we've spent in the last 5 years.
And I forget, I think me and Dylan were saying yesterday when we were watching the game, but all of Lockett's touchdowns are like kind of the same. They're all like him dragging his knee and like, you know what I mean? Like that one touchdown he had, Not the overtime one. That one was awesome too.
Yeah.
But I think it was the one he had when.
It was when we went up 24-21. He got in the back left corner
in
of
the
end
back
zone.
left. Yeah.
That catch, I feel like he's made that catch like 100 times.
That's what I mean. Like it's always like him dragging something right before getting out of bounds, and it's
and just to kind of illustrate how good he is at that. I saw today that Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars had like 4 chances to make that play against the Chiefs, and they went 0 for 4, where the receiver just couldn't get his feet in bounds in the back of the end zone. So he does it so often, and he makes it look easy, but like clearly that's a pretty unique skill that he has there, to just have that awareness of where he is on the field at all times.
Yeah, and I think too, because he's not talked about so often on hardly at all.
Yeah.
If at all, throughout like national media, that like you were saying, he makes it look so easy, but you forget a lot of guys can't do what he can do.
Yeah.
So
I think if he played for like the Dolphins, or like if he played for the Cowboys, he would be like in every commercial. Like I guarantee you that, because there's no objective reason why some of these guys get more fucking media attention than Tyler Lockett. And I don't care if you're a Northwest sports fan, you're used to it at this point. If you've been paying attention to the Seahawks and Mariners, other teams for a long time, because it's always like this. Mm-hmm. We're geographically a long ways away from where most of the teams and most of the country are, and people don't think about the Northwest until they come up here and Tyler Lockett scores a touchdown on them.
Yeah, no one thinks to put a Tyler Lockett into a Buffalo Wild Wings commercial. Like Sauce Gardner's going to be getting that sort of media attention. Granted, it's a very stupid commercial.
Yeah, I'm almost glad we don't have to watch that, because I feel like that would just start to piss me off after a while.
No, you know what you see with Seattle sports is you see quit freaking
called Beacon.
Yeah,
that
we
is
still
a
see
classic.
that.
Yeah. Hey, wait. Yeah, that's one of the greatest Seattle sports commercials.
I think so. Yeah.
But yeah, back to the Lions game. Man, Pete Carroll really got himself out of the doghouse this week, because everyone was kind of saying it without saying it. The Seahawks just were fucking underprepared for the Rams game, and ultimately that falls on him.
He should honestly listen to Jameis Winston's mentor. You know what? You know how they prepared? He told them to just be prepared. Maybe you can pull that video up. We can check out Jameis Winston and
so I'm typing in
some of his
Jameis Winston.
Yeah, I mean the separations and the preparation. Russell Wilson once said. So I think Pete probably had him a little bit narrowed in.
If Pete needs to go to Jameis Winston for anything, we're in big trouble.
How did the defense
All right, I got it up here.
in the running game give overall shape to the way this played out, Jameis?
Well, I just think we were prepared. One thing my trainer, he told me, he said, what did he say? He just told us to be prepared.
Yeah, we were able to hear it.
What did he say? He just told us to be prepared.
Oh, man.
That's great.
Yeah.
I don't know how I haven't seen that one before. But yeah, they came out looking like a completely different unit in their execution and intensity as compared to last week. And it is continuing a pattern that's persisted for a few years now, where oddly enough, road games, 10 a.m. road games, the Seahawks are elite. And they're suddenly better on the road than they are at home. It's been that way for a few years now, and it doesn't make sense, but I'm not complaining when we have games like this one against the Lions. And I had a feeling our offense would get it together, because you look back at the last 2 times we played them before this, we put up 48 points and 51 points, I believe. So we something about their defense, apparently Shane has a knack for taking advantage of, but the defense, I really felt like started to turn a corner in that second half, because it didn't start off looking very great. We gave up a couple decent chunk plays in the run game and got smoked on trick play, the flea flicker.
Well, I know I said we were going to lose going into this game, but I did have a feeling like I know the Lions beat the Chiefs last week, but I didn't think that we were going to go in there and get our asses beat by the Lions. I thought that the Lions might play a little bit down to our level because, well, first of all, they're the Lions. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to need to see more than just 1 week of victory over, granted, the Super Bowl champs. But I did have a feeling like things would sort of click. The game yesterday kind of reminded me a lot of the Charger game last year. The Charger game was like one of our best games I felt like we played last year.
Yeah, I thought that was our best game last year.
And I know the defense still has a ways to go, but I mean, I don't know. It was kind of exactly what I sort of expected, minus us winning, which it was better than what I expected.
I mean, it was a really close. That was a great football game because we made some mistakes. The Lions made some mistakes, but both teams were kind of just, throwing knockout punches at each other on offense, and both quarterbacks played exceptionally well. But the thing is, once we finally got a little bit of pressure on a quarterback, what does Goff do? He turns into the Goff we know and love, and he throws a horrendous pick six, and that is kind of the difference in this game. I mean, I don't know if we win if that play doesn't happen. And I was glad to see that Trey Brown, although it was unfortunate that Tariq Woolen got a little banged up and missed most of the game, Trey Brown was looking like the guy we saw in training camp. He made a couple of fantastic plays. He had a sack, he had a pick six, and just looked competent at the right cornerback position. But the guy we haven't brought up so far, who made his debut Sunday, Devin Witherspoon, what'd you think?
I loved pretty much every second. I think he whiffed on like one tackle that I saw. It was like a juke move that Gibbs put on him.
Yeah.
But he had already gotten the better of Gibbs earlier on in the game when he made that first solo tackle. That was one of my favorite plays.
He had the pass breakup on Laporta on 4th down that was just awesome play. It was as clean of a pass breakup as you can get without committing PI. And that's something that I feel like our secondary has been missing for years and years. And Tariq is really good at just kind of shutting down his side of the field because you're not going to beat him over the top. You just aren't. And he has the length. But the athleticism that Devin Witherspoon displayed on that play, like I feel like we haven't seen a play like that in years in the defense. And that shows the reason why we use that pick on him, because you have Kobe Bryant try to make that play, and it's a catch 9 times out of 10. And that literally happened a couple times in that game. I like Kobe. I think he's a solid contributor, but I really think once Tariq is back, we got to take a look at maybe trying out Trey Brown in the nickel slot position, because I just don't think Kobe has the speed to do it, and he gets kind of torched in that spot. But yeah, Devin Witherspoon, he's playing with a level of aggression that I think is sorely missed.
What's up, Colby?
I got the 4th and 4 Devin Witherspoon bat down right here. I wanted to play because it is sweet.
Yeah, go ahead and pull that up, because this. I mean, think about it. Do we win this game if Devin Witherspoon doesn't make this play? I don't know.
4th and 4. Goff protected. Can't find anyone. Knocked away. Great play by the rookie Devin Witherspoon, and Seattle will. 4th and 4. Goff protected. Can't find anyone. Knocked away. Great play by the rookie.
Yeah, and if you watch that play, it's not like it was a play where Goff was pressured immediately and had to throw it quick. Like, he had time, and he was Witherspoon is covering for a long time on that play. So to stay with the tight end who's very talented and had a really great game against us yesterday, super impressive and super encouraging. And I'm just excited to see more of this kid, because the over-aggressiveness that kind of came back to bite him a little bit on the flea flicker and I think on one other play, it reminds me a lot of early Earl Thomas, if you can remember all the way back to 2010. Earl's rookie year, he had some incredible interceptions, and he had a few plays where his instincts were just wrong, and he let a guy get wide open for a huge touchdown and things like that.
Right.
But then, I think with young, talented, aggressive players like that, especially when they're first starting out, you got to live with the mistakes, because you want them to get to a point where they're trusting what they're seeing and they start just reacting and not thinking as much. Because I think, if Witherspoon can stay healthy and just keep building on these performances, we have one of the best cornerback duos in the league with him and Woolen.
Well, and I think I'm really excited for next week's matchup specifically because we're playing against Carolina. They've got a rookie quarterback, and I feel like that is a little bit more. I don't know what the word is. I guess the playing field as far as their offense going against our defense. I feel like it's more of a matchup to be had rather than our defense going up against a Lions offense. Which, granted, we played it good, but I feel like we'll really get to see what our defense is about, and a defense at home too.
And we may have Jamal back.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, he had a full week of practice last week, and they were never going to play him last week. They said that early on in the week, but I think he's at least going to have a chance this week. So I agree with you, and Pete Carroll's track record against rookie quarterbacks is really good.
Those older coaches are always really good against the younger quarterbacks.
Like Bill Belichick and whatnot. But in addition to that, Bryce Young, I think, is going to be a really good player. He showed some stuff in that first game that I really liked, but he made a ton of mistakes. He's a rookie. He's a 5'10" rookie, and he's not on the caliber of Matt Stafford or Jared. Jared Goff used to be a joke name. He's been a good quarterback for a few
He's
seasons.
a great quarterback. And speaking of 5'10", we'll get to it in a second, but I do want to talk about the Broncos-Commanders game.
Yeah.
Because that was probably my favorite game of yesterday. Watched most of that game after ours. And
Well, I mean, our old boy is kind of looking like his old self a little bit more, but he just that team keeps finding new levels of excruciation when it comes to losing.
I rewatched most of the condensed version of that game earlier today, and on that last play of the 2-point conversion, Russell had Jerry Jeudy wide open in the corner of the end zone.
I saw that,
and it's just like, dude, I don't know.
Russ
made those plays 5 years ago.
I know, especially when someone was open like that, he would always just throw a moon ball.
Yeah,
like nice, easy lofted catch, but the refs missed that PI, dude. That was bullshit. In my opinion, I don't know how you don't throw a flag there in that situation.
Yeah.
But anywho, not our team, so ultimately at the end of the day, I don't really care what the
I was
Broncos
happy they
do.
didn't throw a flag personally.
But yeah, I guess to just wrap up some other footnotes about the Lions game, Uchenna had a fucking awesome game. That forced fumble he had on the opening play, I believe, of the second half just totally recaptured momentum in our favor. Another good player is always Bobby Wagner, just, tackle machine. And he has been one of the best defenders in the league. In fact, I think his PFF grade against the run is tops right now in the NFL. And it maybe hasn't felt like it, but we're allowing the third lowest yards per carry in the league right now. So the run defense has been improved. Our plan in the offseason worked. The pass defense still has a long way to go. The pass rush has a very long way to go, but it's still early. I think we could figure these things out.
I'm interested to see in the next couple weeks if the run defense can maintain or if it kind of roller coasters.
I don't think they'll continue to, because they're giving up 2.9 yards per carry right now. That's like super elite. That's not going to maintain.
Yeah, because the Niners are like, 3 point something a carry last season?
Normally, at the end of the year, the team that leads the league they're giving up like 3.5 or a little bit less. But
right.
Never under 3.
We did have a lot of tackles for losses yesterday, I noticed.
Yeah.
We didn't really have too many sacks. What did we have, 2 sacks?
Yeah, and one was on a cornerback blitz by Trey Brown, which is that's a manufactured sack, but fuck it. I don't care how you get the sack. Just get it. If we have to blitz all the time.
What does that mean, a manufactured sack?
Like
Is it not a technical sack?
No, it's a sack, but it's like you're not... Optimally, you want to be getting pressure and QB hits and sacks just rushing 4, because that's just your D-line beating the O-line. So the Niners get plays like that all the time, and we haven't really seen much of that yet. Draymond Jones did do that once during the game, which was good to see because that makes you feel a lot better about the giant money bag we threw at his feet in the offseason. But yeah, I guess by what I said, I just mean when Jamal Adams got like 9.5 sacks in 2020, like those were design plays where they're like, Jamal, just go get him.
Yeah, okay.
So... Yeah, I'm encouraged by what we saw on defense, and I don't know if we've really given enough love to the way Geno played in the game.
He looked great. I thought he looked great, obviously minus the Madden play, but you know what? That play really, I mean, it could have lost us the game, but
it didn't.
I guess if he's trying to come at it from like take the sack so the clock keeps going, or till the clock at least stops at the 2-minute warning, fine. But like, dude, you were running around for running around for a minute.
And my biggest issue with what he did is he had Colby Parkinson wide open for the first down if he just dumps it off to him.
Yeah.
Like halfway through.
He had a good game too, by the way.
Yeah, our tight end group as a whole, like if you just consider them as one person, it's an elite tight end. Because I think they combined for like 9 catches for like 138 yards or something like that, that's excellent production out of your tight end room.
Mm-hmm.
So I love the way we're approaching that position. I'm fine with not having a Travis Kelce if you can, make up for that production by committee.
Yeah.
And Jake Bobo is an elite run blocking wide receiver.
Yeah, every slow motion replay on the run plays, I always saw him leading the way. So that was very encouraging.
The guy's just a fucking football player. There's no two ways about it. And I think he's playing his way into a long-term role with this team, honestly. Like, I think Derek Young, when he gets back, can be wide receiver 5, and Eskridge, just trade him for a 7th-round pick. Like, I want Bobo to have a spot over Eskridge. Eskridge has shown nothing in years.
Yeah.
Bobo has shown that not only does he have a knack for getting open, but he has the tenacity and the run blocking and special teams ability. So, quick side note about Bobo. Gotta put one in every post-game analysis.
No, that's totally fine. And in fact, that is what because we already have our big pass catching receivers. We need guys like him to do the dirty work.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, I would be more than okay with it if he had a long-term deal. Wide receiver 4 is fine with me because, I mean, like I said, we have the tight end group. We don't really need that 4th receiver to be like catching passes and putting up huge numbers week in and week out.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we drafted JSN. And, you got to think eventually Tyler Lockett's going to hang up the cleats. But, he's only 30. He's only 31, I think, 30 or 31 or something like that. So he could play another 3 years, realistically, the way he plays, as long as he doesn't get hurt. But one guy I got to talk about that I don't want to talk about, but we have to, Jason Myers. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's weird. He's like good, really good one year.
Yeah.
Terrible the next year. Really good again. And then he sucks.
It's been all the odd numbered years. He's been dog shit. In all the even numbered years, like 2020, 2022, he's been one of like top 3 kicker in the league.
Yeah, I don't know. Can't explain it.
Hopefully he figures it out, because that I think it was a big, contributor into us losing against the Rams last week, and it could have cost us the game yesterday. So that's the one thing he's got to get that figured out moving forward.
Yeah, who are we playing next week?
Panthers.
Oh, duh. We already talked about this. I'm just having a brain fart there. Yeah, so any more notes on the game, or do you just want to jump into next week and as far as what we can expect?
I think I said all I needed to say about it. Happy to get the win. Feeling a lot better about the season as a whole now. 1-1 feels way better than 0-2. So I think we got a great chance here coming up with this Panthers game to make some separation from teams like the Cardinals and maybe the Rams if they stumble in the divisional race, and get to 2-1.
The Rams kind of surprised me against the Niners, but
they made me feel a lot better about our loss because they played the Niners tough.
They always do. I feel like those games are always like surprisingly Niners losses.
The Niners have won 8 in a row against them.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with Shanahan and McVay, but the Niners have like owned that rivalry.
Damn. Yeah, that's... Well, they used to coach together, right?
Did they? Yeah, I think
when they were on the...
LaFleur,
believe it or not, when they were on the Redskins.
Yeah, LaFleur, Shanahan, and McVay were all on the Redskins.
That's weird because the Redskins sucked. Like, when were they ever like,
I think it was,
man, we need to get their coordinators.
I think it was when they had RG3 before he was RG knee. Sorry. You can cut that out. But anyways,
it's turned into a soundbite, actually.
But yeah, I really like our chances against the Panthers this week because we've been playing the run well. I think that bodes well to shutting down. The fuck is their running back? Miles Sanders. who's been having a good season, but he's probably their biggest weapon on offense overall. I'm not really that worried about Thielen, especially if we have Witherspoon covering him. And Bryce Young, like, I'm sure he'll make a few good plays, but yeah, he's going to be in a hideous, hostile environment for rookie quarterbacks on the road against a team that is more talented. They did beat us last year, but I kind of consider that to be a fluke. And their top cornerback, Horn, is going to be out for the game. So I really like our chances to kind of build some momentum here coming into our bye week in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I think this will be a sound win. I think this will be I think it'll be a 2-score win. I think we'll win by 10. I'm going to say 21-31 is going to be my final.
Okay, 21-31. I'm going to say 28-13 we win.
Okay.
That's my prediction. I think the defense is finally gonna. I think there's gonna be 3 turnovers in the game, and that's gonna be what kind of blows it open.
Yeah, I can see that happening. Who's the Panthers running back again?
Miles Sanders.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Chuba Hubbard.
Right. That guy. I feel like that guy's been on the Panthers for like 10 years.
He's weirdly kind of good too. But yeah, and I mean, I don't want to look too far ahead here on the schedule, but we play the Giants coming up after that Panthers game, and if we can take care of business against the Panthers, the Giants, even though they had a big comeback, they look like shit, and Saquon is going to be out for the game against them. So, as horrible as things seemed coming out of that Rams game, and we may end up really looking back at that game and regret as the season goes on and playoff seeding becomes a factor. We have a really good chance to start 3-1 heading into our bye and get fully healthy heading into the hard part of our schedule. So
Who do we play week 4?
Giants.
Oh, we're going to destroy them then.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
It's on the road on a Monday night game in New York, New Jersey, but I don't believe in Danny Jones. To me, he's always going to be Danny Diapers, so I don't.
He sucks.
I don't see him doing shit. It took them 7 quarters to score a touchdown against the fucking Cardinals. And who did they play week 1?
The Cowboys.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Cowboys are at least good. But even fucking Zach Wilson could throw a touchdown against them. So
Who also sucks.
yeah, he's very bad. I almost wanted him to do better just because it would be a feel-good story. He's just not that guy.
No, he's really not. I don't know. Don't really have much more to say than that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
But yeah, I think we're gonna go into next week or this week, beat the Panthers by 10, like I said, and then yeah, the Danny that's gonna be an ass beating like it was last year.
yeah. I just think we match up really well against them, and especially with Saquon being out, he's their X factor. I mean, their receiving core is just poop.
Yeah, it's bad.
Waller could be annoying, but again,
He's injured every day.
yeah, and the guy throwing them the ball is just like, whenever they put the camera on him, he doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah,
You know,
he
like-
looks really scared all the time and confused.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't know how he just woke up.
It's like they took that play where Eli Manning looked really confused, and they're like, we need that version of Eli Manning in a permanent body that for some reason can run fast.
Yeah, no.
So anywho, that's all I got for this one.
Yeah. Hopefully the M's can sweep the A's, and hopefully we can beat the Panthers this weekend.
Yes. So, onwards and upwards here in Seattle.
Correct.
Alrighty, well, thanks for listening, and we will catch you on the next one.
Yes, sir.